So as a financial advisor, I never thought I'd be making a video like this one because getting rich quick is not something that I do or something that I promote. Ordinarily, if you come see me, I'm gonna give you a time-tested, risk-adjusted, proven strategy in order to make you wealthy over the long term. But today, we're venturing a little bit out of our comfort zone and looking at ways that people have gotten rich quick. Hello guys, Brad here from The Guided Investor. Welcome back to the channel for another video. If you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button because I post regular videos about how you can do more with your money. Today we are talking about getting rich quick, and this is something that's not easy and it's definitely not likely, but it is possible. There are around 2,600 billionaires in the world today, and 55% of them are actually self-made billionaires. So although it's highly unlikely, it's a bit like winning the lotto, it is possible. And today I want to run you through some strategies that have been used by people to achieve high levels of wealth really quickly. Now, bear in mind, I am not recommending you try any of these strategies. All of these things are either highly risky or highly unlikely to succeed. So you're going to be much better off by focusing on the fundamentals of wealth. And if you want to throw in a few of these more colorful strategies around the core of your financial plan, then by all means go for it. So without any further ado, let's jump in. One way to impressive wealth quickly is to get involved with a rapidly expanding business. Now, I'm not talking about being an employee of that business. I'm talking about actually having a piece of the pie. If you can invest in a private company, which is on its way to becoming a publicly listed company, then there's potential there for a massive gain. You see, when a company is private, it tends to trade on lower multiples than a public company due to investment barriers and liquidity issues. So if you can get in while the company's private and it does go public, then there's potential there for a massive spike upon that event. Or even if the company doesn't list, but it is a very good company and it's starting to take market share, then it becomes a good target for a takeover bid as well. And that takeover bid normally comes from a large publicly listed company. And whenever there's a takeover bid, it's often set at a price that's higher than the current value of the shares of that company. And therefore, again, you can make a big profit by being involved in a private company that's a takeover target for a large company. Now, the downside of private equity is that it's very hard to invest or be involved in one of these companies prior to its initial public offering or prior to it being a takeover target. Now, the ways you normally do this are either you're an employee, and as an employee, you have access to potentially invest in the company, or you kind of have to be in the inner circle and know someone who knows someone. There are some private equity funds out there which allow you to invest in a pool of these kinds of private assets, but this strategy is unlikely to get you filthy rich quick, simply because you really need to be on the front line of these things and you need to be open to the opportunity prior to the company outsourcing it to a private equity fund manager. But if you do manage to come across a private equity opportunity and you've done your due diligence and you think that it's a really good investment and a really good company, then you should take it seriously because you can make some really good wealth really quickly using this approach. When it comes to investing, there are many different levels of risk that you can take in your investments. Now, for me personally, I like to invest in a diversified portfolio full of good companies which have strong earnings. But unfortunately, this is not going to get you rich quick. If you want to get rich quick from your investments, then you're going to need to ramp up the risk settings. I'm talking about finding companies with a very small market capitalization and probably no current earnings. You need to find that company that's currently a weed, but it's going to turn into a rose. Now, there are plenty of small companies that you can invest in that are listed on the ASX. In fact, there are over 1,200 companies with a market capitalization of less than $100 million. But the hard part is finding a winner amongst these. Most of these companies will fail and you're likely to lose a good portion, if not all, of your capital. But every now and then you come across an afterpay. Afterpay listed on the 4th of May 2016 for $1 per share. Now the market cap of Afterpay at that time was 125 million. So if you invested 10,000 into the company in the initial public offering, you would have received 10,000 shares. Those same shares that were trading at $1 are now trading at over $100, which means that in a space of roughly 5 years, you've turned $10,000 into over $1 million, which is pretty bloody impressive. If you'd done the same with CSL and invested $10,000 in their IPO back in 1994, then that holding today would be worth around $4 million. And along the way, as a little bonus, you'd also be getting dividends. But don't take this the wrong way. This is not me telling you to buy CSL or Afterpay. These are just two examples of companies that if you did get in early and you rode their wave of success, then they can make you really rich. But you'd have to have some pretty big gonads to hold the companies for that whole period of time and not take profits. Just be very wary that highly speculative small companies are more likely to lose you money. There is an element of luck involved here. And personally, when it comes to building wealth, I don't like to rely on luck too much. I'd much rather invest in solid companies with good earnings, which I know are going to give me a good result over the medium to long term. Building your personal name and identity into one that sort of becomes a bit of a household name, like a Kim Kardashian, is your personal ticket to print money. But obviously this is very hard to do, and you normally need a highly sought after career to give you the platform in order to achieve this kind of fame. So for example, movie stars, sports players, singers, all of those people have a platform that they can use to leverage in order to achieve that level of fame. Once you have a large public following, the money comes easy because you've essentially turned yourself into a marketing tool. Big companies that want to sell their products and services will use your name, use your fame in order to help do that. And by being an ambassador for large brands, you can get millions of dollars by not doing very much. However, remaining relevant in the public's eye is another story. I'm sure if you just pushed any old crap all day, every day, then the public would get sick of you and you'd probably lose some of that fame and some of that marketing appeal. But as long as you're pretty smart about it and you pick your brands and you pick your identity, then you can make some good money for a long period of time simply by using your face to market. Or you could also use that fame to promote your own product or service, like Conor McGregor did when he finished up with the UFC. He bought out a whiskey company, and it's reported that that whiskey company has done over $1 billion of sales since it started. Now, very few people will get to this level of fame and subsequently be in a position to use that fame in order to create wealth. But if you do manage to do it, then good on you, and it is a ticket or a way to get rich really quickly, really fast. Finally, the last way to get rich quick is to invent something. Be the next Bill Gates or Steve Jobs. When it comes to inventing something, you need to think of an idea that's going to fill a gap in people's lives and make their lives either a little bit better or a little bit easier. Now, this is much easier said than done, but if you do manage to come up with the idea, then turning that idea into money is the easy part. To monetize the idea, you'll need to turn it into a business. And so you can do this yourself and start your own business and take the people on board that you need in order to deliver that good or service to the public. Or you can simply sell the idea to someone else who will implement it. Turning the idea into a business yourself has the potential to make you a lot more money, but it does come with time and also some execution risk. But at the end of the day, if you can sell a business which is generating a profit, that's going to be much more valuable than selling an idea. So as you can see, all of these strategies to get rich quick are either very difficult or there is a huge element of luck involved. So my preference always is to stick to the basics, put yourself together a financial plan, one that's going to help you get rich slow, but obviously never close your mind off to some of those more extreme possibilities in life. Because every now and then you might be one of those lucky people that gets a break in life and has the opportunity to implement one of these strategies and push you above the rest of us. But that's it for me today, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and I will see you guys in the next one.